2-minute warning and the fellow audience, welcome. Thank you for tuning in after a busy work week as usual. Week 15, we're flying through the schedule. Time is always flying. 2 more weeks after this, Tim. How's it going on your end?
Shit, me say 2 more weeks, and I'm like, again, that means once the playoff ends, we have February is the combine. Then we have March is free agency.
Oh, yeah.
April's the draft, and then all of a sudden it's that long period of something, of something. So it's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's football every month of something. So we gotta make it work. We gotta make it
Yeah,
work.
we got a couple Saturday games coming up this month. That's going to be something new for the first time
Yes.
this season. Well, not new for the league, but this season, it's our first Saturday games. And then you're still playing for something, Timmy. So we're going to touch up on your Cowboys later this evening. And then I'm not really playing for much, so we'll be touching that game undoubtedly. But let's start it off. Thursday night, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. Last week, the Broncos defense looked exactly like the Broncos defense we remember from their Super Bowl run with Peyton Manning still in the mix. The Orange Crush defense, they held Josh McCown to just 46 passing yards and an INT on 12 pass attempts, while sustaining 3 of the Jets running backs to a total of 45 yards on 20 carries. That's a dominating defensive performance, to say the least. What is concerning about the Broncos is that while their defense played the best football it possibly could, the Broncos still only managed to put up 23 points, and the Denver running backs are still having trouble finding big-time plays, as C.J. Anderson had a 2.2 average and Devontae Booker had a 2.4 yards per carry average. The Colts will have a long offseason and a lot of self-reflecting to do as draft time approaches. This team just isn't good enough to compete with the contenders in this league. They will have Andrew Luck back next season. He'll be able to produce for hopefully the trenches more, as well as rebuilding the secondary in Indianapolis. It won't be an overnight process, but I know all Colts fans are looking forward to 2018 as soon as possible. Tim, in this one, I got the Aqib Talib and those chain snatchers taking this one 26-13.
Oh, wow. Wow. Hey, Shim.
Yeah.
We're kind of close with the score. Again, we don't rehearse this. Kind of close. Yes. The Denver Broncos. The defense was playing pretty good. Against the New York Jets. But who are the New York Jets? An offense of no identity. It was still good to see how the Denver Broncos defense played. They will be missing a key player though. The safety Simmons, who's had a pretty good year. But again, the Broncos still have a pretty good core on that defense to not need him against a Indianapolis Colts team who themselves. Jacoby Brissett is still learning the game. He has gotten better since week 2. T.Y. Hilton and him have a pretty good combination, a pretty good rap with each other. I don't see anybody else other than probably I give it the tight end. I don't see anything else. And so the Colts are struggling right now. I believe they're in a top 5 draft mode right now, pick. And I think that's going to continue. They will be in a top 5 draft pick. I have them losing 17-14 against the Denver Broncos.
Close one. Got you. We're going to move into our weekend game. Okay, the 2 Saturday games we got going on. The first one we're going to touch up on is the Chicago Bears. They're traveling to face the Detroit Lions. Overall, for his rookie campaign, Mitchell Trubisky hasn't thrown up spectacular numbers. But let's also remember this is a kid he played 13 college games before starting his professional career. Let's also remind ourselves of the offensive weapons he's currently employed with. But take away all 9 games for Trubisky's average, and let's focus on his past 2 games against the 49ers and the Bengals. Trubisky, he's been brilliant, going 37 for 47, which equates to a 78.7 completion percentage with 373 yards and 2 TDs, displaying a rating of 113.9. The young man, he's showing signs of grasping the game, and things seem to be slowing down for him right now. Howard and Cohen also been a great tandem behind Trubisky this season. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a struggling Lions team who is still in the hunt for an NFC wildcard. as we discussed on Tuesday's edition of Football Fury, I'm not confident in Detroit right now. Like last year, Stafford is dealing with another injury to his throwing hand and continues to play games through the pain. It's apparent, too, on some of those plays. Stafford has still been delivering the ball well, and his completion percentage is in the 80s, which is spectacular for the past 2 weeks. But some key throws you can tell as if his hand is hampering him, just like against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Stafford had just his second multi-interception game, throwing 2 picks against them. His only other multi-interception game this year came against the Saints in Week 6, where he threw 3. But it's not so much Stafford that worries me about the Lions' success. It's their running game. With the run game not apparent, it's on Stafford's shoulders to lead that team. With the momentum happening in Chicago and the pride they're playing with, I look for the Bears to come out with a lot of energy, Tim, hoping to squash some of those teams' playoffs hopes. Hey, why not this week, though, right? I got the Chicago Bears with an upset, 27-25. Lego.
Hey, Shim. Hey, listen. You know what? It's like the Bears have played with a lot of energy. I'm loving the linebacker Christian Jones. He was filling in for Dan Trevathan. I love what that secondary is good. It's just John Fox. We all know he may not be the greatest head coach, but the defense but what does the Bears have in the offense? They have Trubisky, who's still learning how to play quarterback. Remember, this guy is only played 1 year of football in North Carolina. So that's still learning. Jordan Howard is pretty much the best offensive piece they have, along with Tariq Cohen, the special teams, who played for North Carolina, the rookie. Now, we go on the flip side with Detroit Lions. See, Matthew Stafford hand is messed up, Shim. And, we saw last week, it's still kind of, I don't know, man. It's like, man, somebody's not saying something. Now, yes, they have a good team and all. Yes, this is playoffs on the line. But you know what? It's like Shim said, all you need is a Bears defense with energy to come after their quarterback, give their quarterback good field position, and they work out. I got enough, says Shim. Woo! Chicago Bears win the game 24-10.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Upset City. Let's go. Next Saturday game and the last of them. Yeah, what's up? Oh, I thought you were saying something. My apologies.
Let's say somebody called in already? We have this live?
Our last Saturday game, though, is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs finally won their first game, Tim, since the end of October. And to think, Chiefs fans were stating it was okay to go on that 4-game losing streak because they know that the AFC West is trash. That's laughable. Some Chiefs fans just can't handle the truth or stomach the facts of their own squad. Derek Carr has had his worst 3 games inside Arrowhead, and he made it a 4th straight on Sunday. Thanks to the running backs and defense of the Chiefs on Sunday, they ended their 4-game losing streak. In that victory, Alex Smith had 268 yards and 0 touchdowns with a pick. This is also against one of the worst defenses and secondaries in the league. I'm going to do some simple math here. Alex Smith couldn't put up any red zone success against one of the easiest defenses to score in the league. And now he's going to be facing a top 3 defense in the NFL with arguably the best secondary in the game. Phillip Rivers in the past 3 weeks has been an animal. 71 completion percentage, 1,097 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks. That's good enough for 122.7 rating. You know what that means, Tim? Game. Bolos. Chargers are taking over.
Shim, hey, listen, we had the San Diego Chargers win 5 straight games. Then they lost by 3 to the Jacksonville Jaguars in a close one. And then they won 3 straight games. And it's like, wow. We're mentioning MVPs, and we're talking about Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, but nobody's talking about Phillip Rivers. This man is playing like an animal. He is slinging that ball all over. And you know what? A Jacksonville Jaguars team, a defense, was a 20-17. It's not bad. That's not bad. You know. So I'm giving the Chargers the benefit of the doubt. Now, again, the Kansas City Chiefs, Shim, again, I'm going to keep giving you this credit until they do it. You had said on Fury a couple of weeks ago, the Chiefs right at that point should put Pat Mahomes in. You need some type of energy. I am not seeing that energy, Shim. Yes, we saw the energy against the Raiders, but the Raiders are playing poorly at all. Now, they went out and signed Darrell Reeves. Which couch did Darrell Reeves was sitting on? Ramo Flanagan or Bob's Furniture? It got to be one couch because, my God, it didn't even look close. I think the jersey was too small for him as well. No disrespect to Darrell Reeves. I love the man. You know, but, you know, so then on top of that, you got Kareem Hunt, who had a pretty good game last week after before that, the last four. You haven't done anything, Kareem Hunt. You know what, Shim? That will continue. The Chiefs won't do much. Kareem Hunt won't do much. I hope Kelsey from my fantasy league can do something. I have the Chargers winning this game 28-21 on the road.
Good pick. And that comes from the heart. It's a great pick, Tim. We're going to move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Going to be traveling to my poor, pathetic New York Giants. I apologize, Eagles fans. I really do. I know you guys remember when D-Jax returned that wonderful Mad Dodge punt. So I would imagine this is like Mad Dodge punt being returned to Eagles fans. It doesn't feel good, does it? The Eagles are in trouble, Tim, but not in terms of making the playoffs. They've already sealed their fate. Due to Wentz going down, it will be interesting to see how much Coach Peterson will value the home field advantage, though, as he will have to toss Nick Foles to the Wolves. Do you attempt to solidify that home field advantage? Or do you try to instill more confidence in your backup quarterback and tell him, we're in the playoffs, just go out there and do what you do, get comfortable. Either way, it's going to be a great game for Foles to get his feet wet as the defensive line for the Giants is laughably depleted, and most of the upper-end players seem checked out from the season with nothing left to play for except pride, which seems lost. And let's not even talk about the Eli Apple stuff coming out. Ajayi and the backs should have an easy time exposing the weak linebacker corp in the Giants secondary, as well as the corners that were but third and fourth stringers on the depth chart when the season started. Unfortunately, this won't be a great game to decipher Nick Foles' output and production going forward, but it's a good game for him to get back in the routine of things. I got the Eagles taking this one 28-13.
You know what, Shim?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I don't want to hear that song again. Oh, my God. Please. I got nightmares. I was out at the NFL draft in Philadelphia. My God, that's all I heard. In every round, every time they picked a draft, every time they draft a player, fly. I say, my God. It was annoying. Very annoying. But, Shim, you know what? I recall a couple of weeks ago, I said the Eagles will go 0-4 in December. Everybody, Tim, you were just hating. That's not going to happen. I didn't say injury. All I said, 0-4 in December. That's all I said. They are 0-2 in December so far. So that means they have the Giants, 0-1. They got the Giants. They have the Raiders. And then they have the Dallas Cowboys. But Shim, we got Nick Foles. Is Nick Foles a good quarterback? Yeah, he's a good quarterback. Is he Carson Wentz? No, he's not Carson Wentz at all. That means Doug Peterson is going to have to really coach his ass off and make sure he balanced his team out for victories. See, the mobility that Carson Wentz brought to this team to extend the play, it's going to be kind of hard because Foles can't do that. But on the flip side, going to the Giants, even though my Dallas Cowboys beat them 30-10, I will be honest and say this. We made big plays. I still wasn't happy I was wasn't happy with a lot of things. The Giants had a lot of new players. What I do like was, if anybody saw, Odell Beckham Jr. was on that sideline. He was missing for the whole year, even though he had the injury. But he was on that sideline last week. McAdoo was fired, I guess, right? He was fired. Wow. I seen Jason Pierre-Paul arguing with the team, let's win. Wait a minute. We haven't seen this with McAdoo. With Spagnuolo, now you're seeing energy. You see trying to play inspired football. This is the Giants' last home game. This is possibly the Giants' last home game with Eli Manning as a New York Giant. So I love movies like Rudy. I love movies like, Above I love these inspired football movies. We're going to see an inspired football movie. Shim, I have an upset. Oh, my God. New York Giants.
Don't do it.
The Philadelphia Eagles, 17-14. The talks of Eagles failing in the playoffs, Meadowlands.
Damn it, Tim.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Bye, Eagles, bye. Bye, bye, bye.
We're going to move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be traveling to face the Minnesota Vikings. And there isn't much to say about the Cincinnati team. Andy Dalton has been abysmal, even with the offensive coordinator change coming earlier in the season. Dalton still showed signs of improvement and had his 2 best weeks of the season after the immediate OC change. But after that, he became the same old Dalton. He's barely in the 60 completion percentage field and had one of his worst games of the year against the Bears defense, going 14 for 29, 141 yards. He's thrown under 200 yards 5 times this season. Joe Mixon hasn't become the elusive rookie running back he was poised to be coming out of the 2017 draft, and injuries on both ends have stifled this Bengals team. I truly believe it will be time to move on from Andy Dalton after the season. And finally, after overstaying his damn welcome, Marvin Lewis as well. The Vikings are coming off a loss, but it's a loss where I believe they can fix those mistakes on the run defense. They allowed Jonathan Stewart to have a 6.4 yards per carry average, the same as Cam, allowing 200 total rushing yards between Stewart, McCaffrey, and Newton. Mike Zimmer will make sure to hammer out those damn mistakes before this game. This shouldn't be too much of a contest for the Purple People leaders. I got Minnesota taking this one 32-17. Go ahead, Diggs, do your thing. Swoop, swoop. What you doing, Skull? Swoop, swoop. What you doing, Skull?
He doing his thing. Tim, you know what? The Minnesota Vikings, man, are having a great year, man. Great year. And you know what? This is like, wow. There's no Adrian Peterson there. Who's the big name on that? Who's basically getting the biggest recognition? We're talking about Case Keenum, the former quarterback who played for Jeff Fisher with the Rams. My God. This proves my theory, Shim. Because you may look bad on one team, don't mean that going for a new start somewhere else that you're gonna look the same. New opportunity. Look what happens. Wow, this man's playing in an MVP level. Yes, last week the Minnesota Vikings lost to the Carolina Panthers. It's okay. You're gonna lose one. You're gonna lose, but they're still a very good team. Still the best defense in the NFC. Now they're playing the Bengals. What's good to say about the Bengals? Mawalu's got his job still. That's good. It's good that he has his job. That's important.
That's one.
AJ Green fantasy playoffs. That's Joe Mixon. Is he playing concussion? I don't know. Shim, nothing to talk about. I got the Minnesota Vikings winning this game 28-14. There's nothing to discuss. The Bengals Monday quarterback Marvin Lewis will probably be fired.
No, you're absolutely right. Really nothing to talk about. Might as well just go to the next game because there's nothing to talk about. Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be going to the Cleveland Browns. Is there really anything to talk about? No, the Ravens did lose a heartbreaker last Sunday, though. Now they're tied with three other teams in the AFC with a 7-6 record: Bills, Chiefs, and Chargers, and are one game behind Tennessee, who sits at 8-5 in the South. The Ravens are a top three defense in terms of points allowed, and they're right behind the Jaguars and Chargers. It also seems like the backfield has come alive with Alex Collins really finding a stride in this offense, and they still have Buck Allen and Danny Woodhead, who has returned for the passing game. I personally have some concern with the receivers in Baltimore, though. Wallace is a one-trick pony. Jeremy Maclin was barely wanted by the Kansas City Chiefs, who have their own receiver issues, and the rest of the depth chart are players trying to make a name for themselves. It's been a defense to keep the Ravens in all these games this season. So we'll see if their offense finally starts living up to their end of the bargain. As for the Browns, not much to fall back on. One shining story is the revival of Josh Gordon, and he looks as good as ever in the long-awaited return after his suspensions. These Browns have some pieces on both sides of the ball, but they're definitely looking towards the 28 draft and the free agency to fill in some of those missing squares, like a crossword. John Dorsey will be getting hard to work right away, I'm damn certain. In this game, I got Suggs and crew taking it 28-17.
You know what, Shim? I picked the Browns last week against Green Bay Packers. I still think the Browns won that game because that there was a holding play. And cornerback I think Randall was holding Josh Gordon in overtime. He was hugging him, bear hugging him, kissing him, doing the whole thing. And the referee was standing right there, didn't call that call. You know, if Deshaun Kaiser made a mistake, come on, I don't like that. I know Aaron Rodgers coming back, but that was funky right there. Browns should have won that game. But new week. We got the Baltimore Ravens now traveling to the Browns. The Ravens almost had the victory against the Steelers last week. So, Brandon Carr, he's an older veteran, got burned by Antonio Brown. He's an older guy. Right now, without missing Jimmy Smith, the veteran corner, you got an older vet and you got a rookie. That's not a good combination now, trying to head into the playoffs. So that's what their problem. That's what their problem is at. I don't really like the Baltimore Ravens offense, Shim. Yes, they have a running game with Collins. Occasion, Danny Woodhead's back, but it's still not enough. Joe Flacco is, my God, he's regressed. He's really regressed. Their defense is pretty good. Front seven, led by Terrell Suggs, Judon, Bowser, Mosley, of course. Excellent. But you're playing a Browns team that is very young. Josh Gordon, Shim, yes, he is back, and he's looking pretty good. He's looking like that all-pro Josh Gordon we thought he was. You know what? I can't talk about Josh Gordon like this. I gotta see. Josh Gordon's back, y'all. He's already catching passes. He's already looking corner looking too bad. So I gotta give my props and flavor to the Cleveland Browns because here's the thing, Shim. Josh Gordon is gonna burn that secondary. Come on, Josh Gordon. I had the Cleveland Browns winning this game 17-14. Josh Gordon will get 2 touchdowns in that.
Yo, I hope so. That'd be great for my fantasy playoffs.
Fantasy?
I picked him up a few weeks before he came back. I had to jump on the ball, man. Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Washington Redskins. And these Arizona Cardinals should probably have some of their players hitting the retirement home next season. They'll look to get younger next season as they desperately need to move on from aging Carson Palmer, Adrian Peterson, and potentially our Hall of Famer and Larry Fitzgerald. Not only that, but the Cardinals could be another one of those teams that makes a splash in the 2018 draft going for a quarterback potentially. Blaine Gabbert has been the Gabbert that we remember from 2011. He's taken 15 sacks in the past 2 games, has a 60.3 completion percentage with 1 score and 2 picks. With the way the Redskins have played lately, though, it's almost hard to argue that these teams aren't on the same level currently. Kirk Cousins is playing behind a taped-up O-line, and His receivers don't even seem like they could catch a cold right now. His number one option, Jordan Reed, is constantly plagued by the injury bug every season, and the defense has been having some of their own issues. One of the key matchups that could decide this game is the Chandler Jones and those defensive players breaking through a juggling offensive line in front of Kirk. These type of games usually aren't in the West Coast team's favor when traveling east, but I smell a bit of an upset in terms of traveling time zones, if that makes sense. So I actually have the Arizona Cardinals taking this one 23-20.
Shim, Blaine Gabbert's not doing too bad with the Cardinals. I think wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, who is now, I believe, number 2 all time in receiving yards. No, he's still number 3. I think he's a couple of more for number 2. Yeah, he's still number 3, but he's getting up there, and I believe he appreciates Blaine Gabbert because Blaine Gabbert is probably the best quarterback he's had since Carson Palmer going down again. No David Johnson, but the young running back Kerwin Williams had a pretty good last 2 weeks. AP, I believe, still has a neck injury, but the Cardinals still have a defense that's pretty good. The Cardinals are a team of sport. They're a spoiler team, a team that's not fully in strength, but good enough to just beat you. Now, you're playing a team like the Redskins, who's not in the playoff hunt. They're bad all over. Kirk Cousins has been the only thing keeping them going. Jordan Reed, he's on vacation the whole year, back and forth with the injury. I mean, no disrespect, Redskins fans. I just think that the next operation game they made, it should be Reed's picture on that operation thing because, my God, this man is missing games left and right. Terrell Pryor, their prize offseason acquisition, he hasn't played. He's out. Grant? Dachshund? I mean, it's like a song. Here we go, Grant, Dachshund, Grant, Dachshund. I mean, that's what Kirk Cousins is doing right now. I mean, he has nobody on that offense. That. I mean, wait, Josh Norman, how much did they pay this man? I mean, $16 million? Josh Norman couldn't cover me and Shim at all. He's lucky we not playing in the NFL in the NFC East. He's lucky. Lucky Josh Norman. So, Shim, I look at the Washington Redskins. I think they are they just messed up all over. I think Gruden will be fired at the end of the season. I think it's all over for the Redskins, in my opinion. The best thing for them is just lose it out, start over, draft a quarterback. Kirk Cousins will move on to a new team. I have the Arizona Cardinals 21-14 on the road.
We're going to bring it on to the Green Bay Packers. They're going to be traveling to the Carolina Panthers. For the next couple days, all we're going to be hearing about is speculation on whether Aaron Rodgers should be starting this game or taking another week, maybe the rest of the season to solidify the healing process. Brett Hundley had his worst game against the Ravens in Week 11, throwing 3 picks in those scores and getting sacked 6 times, but has since rebounded. In the past 3 games, Hundley's got a 69 completion percentage, 594 yards, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. That's an average of 198 passing yards and 2 scores. I mean, this is really all you need to ask of the young man, as they finally found a ground attack in Jamal Williams. Granted, the Green Bay backs were maintained a bit against the Browns, but as I've stated in previous weeks, Cleveland actually has a pretty decent run defense, one of their better attributes as a team. The Packers just need to keep Hundley confident and advise him to keep doing what he's doing. The great outlook for the Panthers is they have a top defense, even when you're not sure what you'll get out of Cam Newton for the day. They still find a way to get the win. Panthers are 5-1 in their last 6, and in the loss to the Saints, Cam still had a 63 completion percentage and 2 touchdowns and no picks. They're also coming off a huge win against the second-seeded Vikings in the NFC. The energy and confidence should be high in Carolina, and with some of the best defenses in the NFC coming out of the South, the Packers will have their hands full. I got the Panthers taking this one, 29-20. You like those little Jets, right? Stewart finding that run game.
He's probably the best goal line touchdown running back this season. Shim, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just gonna read something. broken collarbone football recovery time.
Uh-oh.
Fortunately, most collarbone fractures are minor and we heal with rest, ice, and pain relievers. But even then, healing can mean 6 to 12 weeks or more of time away from competition. Shim, Rodgers was out 7 weeks total, am I correct? They said 7 weeks. Yeah, it was 7 weeks. 2 weeks ago, he's throwing the football. Just throwing it. No practice, no nothing. So now we're hearing that he's eligible to come off the IR. But Dr. Andrew, from my research, I don't think he's had say he could play yet. I don't know. But Green Bay Packer fans out here saying, "Oh no, he's back, he's back." I want everybody to think for a second. Rodgers is 34 years old. Okay, 34 years old. Okay, I understand the NFL got these new medicine machines, whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, he's a human being. He's not 21 years old. See, when you're that age, 21 or 20s, you heal quicker. Now, I mean, unless you're going to give this man something that we don't know about, you know, I don't know. I'm not making any assumptions, but let's keep this real. So now we hear if the Green Bay Packers beat the Carolina Panthers, Rodgers will play next week. Shim, I smell a rat. I smell ratings. They're like, damn. In the playoffs, we have Case Keenum. Okay, we have Nick Foles now. Carson Wentz is not there now. So who else we got? Okay, we got Cam and we got Drew, but we need some more names. Shannon, I'm not. We've been watching football for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We know the gate tricks with the Patriots. I smell a rat. I really do. But the rat will be funky next week if Aaron Rodgers suits up and plays next week, which I really highly doubt. Shim, I have the Carolina Panthers winning this game. Oh my God, what's my score at, Shim? What's my score? 21-14. 21-14.
Sound victory. Yeah, Panthers are rolling.
My collarbone got me messed up.
New York Jets traveling to the New Orleans Saints. As for the Jets, they're turning into the Jets team we all predicted at the start of the season. A very young team with holes on both sides of the ball and a veteran journeyman quarterback with a second-year head coach whose future stability is still kind of uncertain. The Jets have been playing well to their competition this season, but it was disappointing to see them lay an egg against the Broncos, who, despite having a good defense, have shown blueprints of how they can be defeated. Now they travel to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium where Drew Brees and crew, they're 5-1. With the only loss coming in that 0-2 stretch at the beginning of the season to the Patriots in week 2. With the Saints' eyes on the playoffs and attempting to keep this high-firing offense going on all cylinders, this may be another bad week for those Jets, man. I got the Saints taking this one 31-13.
Shim, Josh McCown is out for the season.
Mm.
So who comes in? Bryce Petty.
Yes, sir.
And then Hackenberg right behind him. Let me call my bookkeeper. I want to put the whole house on this game. Everything. I have the New Orleans Saints. There's nothing to discuss here. I mean, listen, I will tell fantasy owners, get the Saints defense, start anybody on offense. Kamara, he's good to go. Kamara could play with a broken collarbone this game against this Jets team. It's going to be a terrible finish. My God. Are winning this game 35-0. Sorry, Trish. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it's could be a bloodbath. We got the Miami Dolphins going to the Buffalo Bills. Where has this Dolphins team been all season? We all know Jay Cutler has the talent. Did it really take him 13 weeks for him to get comfortable with this offense? I mean, even if it did, it puts the Dolphins in a weird scenario for next season. Do they retain Cutler as a backup in case Ryan Tannehill has another issue? Or do they say thank you for your short and immediate services and move on and just retain Matt Moore? The Dolphins defense played great, but it was very odd to see a Patriots team go 0 for 11 on third down conversions. That's the first time the Patriots haven't completed a third down since 1991. It truly was an on and off night for Brady as he went 24 for 43, 233 yards, and only one score. Miami sacked him twice and hit him 5 times. It's usually the recipe for getting to Tom Brady and rallying that Patriots offense. So held the Patriots to 24 yards rushing. I accumulate that to both a bad Patriots night and a Dolphins team that wanted to play divisional spoiler, preventing the Patriots from clinching their 9th consecutive AFC East title for at least another week. We all witnessed the whiteout blizzard game last week in Buffalo when they took on the Colts and squeezed out a W behind LaShawn McCoy's 4.9 yards per carry average, where he had 156 rushing yards. The weather isn't exactly warming up here, and that snow isn't going anywhere. This week, I think something as simple as the weather could shock a lot of those South Beach players. I got Buffalo taking this one 22-16.
You know something, Shim? This is funny. It's funny you were saying about the weather. Because last week it was like the coach was like, oh my God, can we just finish the game up? Yo, can we do – it's like, my God, it's too cold. The Buffalo Bills, it was like summer. It didn't – we all know Shady McCoy had great games in the snow. Take you back against the Detroit Lions. He went over almost 200 yards rushing in that weather. See, when it comes to outside football, or if you play a team like Buffalo, you love the cold weather because guess what? You play and you practice in the cold weather. Your body's immune to it. Now, when it comes to Miami Dolphins, Shim, this is what I think about them. Flipper. Remember Flipper? That's who Miami the Dolphins. And see, Flipper was doing all these tricks in the water. Not in the cold, in the water. And you know what, Shim? That's exactly what's going to happen. All them tricks he was doing with Kenyon Drake, all the tricks they was doing with Jarvis Landry. Beach. You're going to Buffalo now, Shim. Buffalo Bills and the weather are going to win this game 17-14 at home.
I like it. Great minds. Houston Texans traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans, they're on a 3-game losing streak, and to add insult to injury, this guy Tom Savage was twitching on the ground after a hit and apparently cleared concussion protocol to come right back in the game. I feel like that one little moment is basically the epitome of what the Texans' season is shaped up to be. In relief time, TJ Yates, he looked decent. He made some good throws from the pocket and was able to put a couple scores on the board. But what hurts the Texans is having virtually no run game either. Lamar Miller is averaging 16 attempts for 59 yards a game, and he has 3 rushing touchdowns in the season. The other 3 coming from receptions. Besides Hopkins, I'm not sure who else is playing wide receiver in Houston. Do you know, Tim? Will Fuller still hasn't shown up since week 8, and he missed weeks 11, 12, and 13. Fuller, he only has one 100-yard game this season, and it came in a loss to Seattle in week 8. Since week 8, Fuller's per-game average is 2 receptions for 24 yards. They need more in Houston. In fact, they need Deshaun Watson back. I personally look forward to see what a Deshaun Watson-led team for a full season could turn into for this squad. I got Jacksonville taking this game 28-17.
Shim, the only thing I love about this matchup is seeing DeAndre Hopkins versus Ramsey. Now, I want to say something to everybody about Darrelle Revis for a minute. Now, I've argued this all the time. Everybody says Darrelle Revis was the best corner because he played, I think his first 2 years in the league. Nobody being mindful that those names were older guys by then. Terrell Owens was in his 30s, on his way out. Chad Ochocinco was on his way out. We had Andre Johnson on his way out. The following year, he played Des Bryant, Deshaun Jackson. It was Hakeem Mix and Victor Cruz in the NFC East the following year. Good job. No disrespect to Darrelle Revis, still one of the greatest. But when he played against youth, you saw a difference. Now, going back to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey, we're talking about Antonio Brown. Yeah, he's 30 years old, but he's still the best receiver in the league. We're talking about now we have AJ Green. Okay, even though they got injected, he was having that man in check. Now, Jalen Ramsey has been checking down top 10 receivers. And at their prime, Shim, now you're going with Hopkins. Hopkins easily the top 5, top 6, however you want to put it. Oh, excuse me, I didn't forget Julio Jones gave him a hard time as well. Excuse me, Jalen Ramsey gave Julio Jones a hard time as well. So I want to see this matchup. This kid right here is special. He has a great defense around him. The offense is growing with Blake Bortles. We got young guys like Dede Westbrook, the rookie out of Oklahoma. He's coming onto his own. We see the guys as Cole. This guy was undrafted wide receiver who was a favorite of his teammates. And Allen Robinson is out for the year. Hearns is still out. And Marquez Lee is back and forth. So, wow, this team is Leonard Fournette doing a great job running that football. They come to Houston Texans, Shim, Deshaun Watson was the juice. They have no juice. All the Texans can do is please fantasy football owners if you have DeAndre Hopkins. That's it. So, that's it. I had the Jacksonville Jaguars winning 21-14 at home.
Maybe the Texans can lower pretzel prices for the last week or two at home.
Why not? Why not? Give away free Deshaun Watson jerseys. They'd be happy to enjoy the game. And I don't mean replicas either. I mean field ones. So
we got the Los Angeles Rams are going to be traveling to the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams are coming off of losses from last weekend. The success of the Seahawks season is riding on the shoulders of Russell Wilson and the plug-in players on the defensive side. Russell has a lifetime record of 6-5 against the Rams. But more importantly, he's 4-1 at home against the Rams, with the other 2-4 coming on the road against them, including that loss to the Rams earlier this season. So now RW3 has a chance to split the series again as they head back to CenturyLink. Russell, he's only been swept by the Rams once, and that came in 2015. Jared Goff is virtually 0-2 against the Rams, despite him being marked for the 9-3 win against Seattle in Week 2 of last year, where he had no attempts or completion, so why they gave it to him, screw them. But in those 2 losses, Goff averages around 58.8 completion percentage and 213 yards with 1 score and a pick. So despite the injuries to Seattle, they still employ an above-average defense. Seattle gets back on track and makes the NFC West race a little more interesting going into the closing weeks here. I got Seattle taking this one 38-32. Don't take the under on this game, folks.
Jim, I thought about this game, and I was saying to myself, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be pissed off. They're going to be very mad. Last week losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a lot of emotion was involved. Guys got ejected. It was a good football game. Only lost by 6 points, but again, Russell Wilson had to try to carry this team. The Rams lost a nail biter with the Eagles. Carson Wentz was knocked out. Nick Foles came in, converted a key first down. Game over. Eagles won the division, the NFC East division, on their home. But you're right, though. Seattle Seahawks have beaten the Russell Wilson is 4-1 against the Rams. I get it. Seattle's home. But you know what I like about this Rams team, Shim? They could throw the whole house at you. I love the coach McVay. This man, I saw this man on the sideline of last week's game. He basically when the offense is on the field, he's communicating on right there close to we can see the defense and telling Goff. Like normally you have head coaches standing right there. They don't move. They don't move unless the team moves. This guy is standing close to the defensive side, calling plays to Goff, letting him know what he's seeing, what's going on. I like this young coach. I really do. Shim, the Seattle Seahawks that you called out, that team is gone. The LOB, Legion of Boom, they're done. There's no Legion of Boom no more. There's no identity. All you have is Russell Wilson running around to make plays. This Rams team, they could throw the kitchen sink at you. They got enough playmakers on that offense to score points. Their defense could really play that Seattle Seahawks offense. The only guy, don't get me wrong, if you stop Russell Wilson, you stop the whole team. Offensive line is not too strong. They have no identity in the running game. Shim, I see an upset. I have the Rams winning this game 17-14. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, it will. It will definitely be a great game. Tennessee Titans at the San Fran 49ers is the next. What worries me about the Titans is what they have with the wins. It's close wins against the lower echelon level of teams, including a 4-point victory over the Colts, a 3-point win over the Browns in overtime, and 4 points over the Bengals. They've also been the victim of losing games that they should not, such as the Cardinals last Sunday. Mariota hasn't been impressive in his third-year campaign. He's now 10 touchdowns and 14 picks on the season with a 76.9 rating. He had a game to forget last week against the Cards, going 16 for 31, 159 yards and 2 picks. It almost seems imminent that there will be a coaching change or two happening in Tennessee in the offseason, despite the record on display. All the meanwhile in San Fran, they seem to have something coming alive right now as they head into the draft season. Jimmy G hasn't been too bad at all for the 49ers, considering what they supply the young man with, and an offensive line that needs bolstering. He's also restored some pride in the locker room. A lot of buzz going on in the Bay Area right now. He might have lit a fire under some of the players to come out on game day rather than have a let's just get through the season kind of mentality. In a game where a current wildcard contender should have this game in the wraps, we have a quarterback struggling with his offensive coordinator and his own personal injuries. I'm going for the upset in this one. I got San Fran taking this game 27-19. Jimmy G, 3 dubs. Gonna be a good one.
Shim. Ooh, we on the same pace, Shim. You know, the Tennessee Titans, Mariota is struggling. He has a hamstring. The guy's broken down. He's not healthy. They're saying more surgery is needed now. Wow. See, this is why, the guy's not ready yet. The guy should be shut down if that's a franchise guy. He really should. I understand you got divisions on the line, but if he can't play good, he needs surgery. How far is that going to carry you? Not very far at all. Solid running game, but again, both of them are not that dynamic. They both physical runners between Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray. So now when you got Mariota down and he's not as dynamic, going out the backfield, scrambling, being mobile, defensive see how to play that Titans offense. Yes, he has receivers like Rashard Matthews, who does his thing in the slot. Veterans like Decker there. His tight end, of course, Mr. Walker. But Mariota ain't the same, and you could clearly see that. The Cardinals showed that last week when they beat them. But now, Shim, the 49ers possibly new franchise quarterback. I need some flavor to talk about them. Savita, dedicated to you, Savita. Cole, 49ers fans. Jimmy G's coming into town. He is the face.
Yeah.
He is telling the 49ers world by next year, this team is going to be something with Cal Shanahan. Ruben Foster, the linebacker, that defense will be right about us. Oh, it's going to be nice. Woo. Shim, I'm with you, Shim. I'm loving Jimmy G. I love the difference on this team. Gittles, did we not see Gittles last week? Excuse me, not Gittles, Selleck. But Gittles still a good tight end. Still very serviceable. Aldrick Robinson. Cal Shanahan got these guys playing pretty good with Jimmy G. I have the 49ers winning this game here 21-7. It's my shoulder.
Yeah,
it
takes a while to heal too, according to what I read.
I don't have Rodgers. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, he's an animal. We got a good ass game coming up with the New England Patriots traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Brady had one of his more forgettable games on Monday night after getting handled by Miami's defense and not being able to convert a third down, as I stated earlier, for the first time since '91. But as we've seen from this Patriots from the past decade and change, is whenever Brady and Belichick hit a little bump in the road, they usually correct their mistakes the very next turn and end up destroying the next opponent in their path. Take week 1, for example. Brady had a 44.4 completion percentage against Kansas City and Foxborough. Terrible game for Brady. He bounced back in week 2, going off for 447 yards with an almost 77 completion and 3 touchdowns. The next team on the table is the Steelers, and they'll have to face them in Heinz Field this go-around as Pittsburgh is seeking revenge, being bounced out of the AFC Champ game by Brady and crew in the 2016 playoffs when the Patriots won 36-17. The Patriots and Steelers are number 2 and number 4 offenses in the league, but the Steelers field a better overall defense, as New England is in the bottom 5 of the league. As hard as it is to seriously consider the Patriots going on a 2-game losing streak, it's equally as hard to picture this Steelers team not coming out and trying to run the table after last Sunday night's comeback against the Ravens. If you're a gambler, do not take the under in this game. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking this one 38-35. What a game it's going to be.
Jim. Oh, wow. This is going to be a tough one. Before I say my prediction, I want to let every Steelers fan know and every Patriot fan, I'm picking not a hate. I'm picking for what I feel is about to come. The Steelers won a close game last week against the Baltimore Ravens. The Patriots lost a bad one against Miami Dolphins. By the way, Amendola was in my opinion. That should have been a score. So now the Steelers right now are a game ahead of the Patriots for home field. Now, Shim, I did say ratings, right? I did say ratings a couple of picks ago. It's important. For some reason, every time a team plays the Patriots, a new gate comes out. Spygate, Floodgate, PhoneGate. It just something happens. Always something. Deflate football, just something. We have drones. We have. I'm not saying the Patriots are cheaters. I'm just saying something always comes about. Shim, the Steelers right now are, in my opinion, the second best football team in the AFC. I still have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1. I have the Steelers at 2, and I have the Patriots at 3, in my opinion. But you know what, Shim? Tom Brady's not looking the same. He's not. He's 40 years old. He's getting hit. Him and Brandon Cooks supposed to be like the next quarterback wide receiver combo. They don't have a combo like that, like the Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown. Gronkowski missed last week's game. The bad hit he did on the Bills a couple of weeks ago. He's playing this game. I still think the Steelers have enough on defense trying to hold them. So it's going to come down to guys like Rex Burkhead in a running game. You know, the Patriots did sign Kenny Britt. I don't know how much burn he's going to get, but I'm pretty sure probably a couple of plays here and there. They have Amendola. So the Steelers got – it's going to be a good game. Now, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got Bell. You know, right now he's playing like the best back in football. Juju will play this game. He was also suspended last week. You got Martavis Bryant now being on the same page with the Steelers staff. He's just playing his game. In my opinion, I think the Steelers could beat them, could physically beat them. But I'm picking the Patriots to win this game because I feel there will be a controversy call somewhere to cost the Steelers this game. I have the Patriots winning this game.
Oh, man.
21-20.
Ooh, Sharon, Brian, Corey, they're not going to be happy with you.
No, and again, the Steelers are the better team on the field, on paper. I just think the Patriots, for some way on the line, it will be a controversial call. And Monday and Tuesday, we'll come back to talk about it.
It's going to be a good game. Dallas Cowboys, they're going to be traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. This game had a potential of being a very good matchup, but the Raiders were going to be the contenders of the AFC West we thought they were going to be. And if Dallas could field Zeke in their backfield to allow that offense not to look so stagnant and lost, it's been a rough go for Dallas fans this season, as some have been calling for Garrett's head for some years now. Others have just jumped on the bandwagon and are seeing themselves getting on and back off again. You know, they truly can't make up their minds, Tim. You know, it's a little weird right now. But as it stands, the Cowboys, you're technically still in the hunt. You're in some good shape as you're going against a Raiders team who hasn't been able to live up to the hype. Derek Carr desperately needs his receivers to start coming through for him, as we can't totally put the blame on his shoulders for his production and his stats right now. It doesn't look like he's going to get that anytime soon, as Amari Cooper is missing yet another week of play. So looking over the season and the stats tables, the Cowboys do have the better overall defense and offense by a touch. And with the playoffs on the line and the security of knowing you'll be getting Zeke back next week at home for the Seahawks, I think this Dallas team gives it everything they have in the black hole for a couple brighter weeks ahead. I got Dallas taking this one 29-23 to stay alive in that playoff hunt. What you planted down there? What you got for me, Tim?
I just need to just. Shim, the Dallas Cowboys desperately need this game against the Raiders. They really do, because they need help. Not only you got to win out, you need other teams to lose, either one game or 2 games. And, you know, Shim, with that being said, what I love about that is that if you do next week coming up, you get your best player back on offense. You know what I'm saying, Shim? And you hear the horses, Shim. I feel them. The horses are going wild, Shim. Shim, the Raiders right now, Shim, they're doing terrible. They're bad. Playing this game. All right? Michael Crabtree is the only thing they really have. Who's Seth Roberts? I don't know. Who's Cordell Patterson, I don't know. Okay, who's Beast Mode? Beast Mode retired. This is Marshawn Lynch, not the same guy. David Carr, Shim, is not playing healthy. I still think he's still having effects with that broken back thing, with that bone issue. Listen, I know. Tony Romo told me. So, Shim, Dak Prescott had a great game against the New York Giants. I love Ross Smith, the way he was coming out the defense. We started a young secondary. Oh, the whole rookie class was playing with Byron Jones back there and Heath. It looked great. Jordan Lewis, listen, that nobody's talking about him shutting down his half the field. This guy here is only letting like maybe 1 or 2 catches a game. I mean, I'm sorry to say, the quarterback has an option to throw on that side. They haven't been doing it. According to Pro Football Focus, he's ranked number 1. Wow. Jordan Lewis, supposed to be a first-round pick out of Michigan, but fell because of off-the-field incident. But, you know, us Cowboys, we love that. We take the talent. Shim, I said ratings, right? I did say ratings. Roger Goodell knows the Cowboys to be full health with ratings. Zeke Elliott playing next week will bring on the ratings. Big time. This win against the Raiders will have the ratings. This is why we on Sunday Night Football, Shim. This is why the Patriots and Steelers have to take a backseat. No. The Cowboys get the primetime game. Y'all take this, your asses back there. When you start the show, that means you get in, get out. The finale is for the better team. Shim, America's team, my Dallas Cowboys is winning this game 24-17.
And we got Monday night. Atlanta Falcons going to be traveling to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And the Falcons, they've had some tough losses this season to teams like the Bills and Dolphins, which shies us away from still labeling them as like a legit NFC threat, although they truly are. The Falcons still have a top 10 offense and defense in the league and have the players in position on both sides of the ball to make a run in the playoffs. It'll be a tough battle as they're already looking up at the Panthers and Saints in their own division and must compete with the Seahawks in terms of a better record in these next few weeks. The Bucs have been an absolute disappointment this season, and Jameis Winston, he's still been average in terms of production and questionable in terms of a team leader on the sideline. The Bucs are more than likely wondering if they need to make a change with Dirk Cutter and potentially some key pieces on the Bucs right now, while the Falcons and Dan Quinn are focusing on getting these W's so they can get back to the postseason. The only shining point for the Bucs is that 3 out of their 4 wins have come at home, but I truly don't believe they're going to be seeing one on Monday night. I got the Falcons taking this one 29-18.
Just sit right back and you hear it tale of a fateful trip that started from this topic on this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, Shim. You know, I love Gilligan's Island. You know, Marianne and the Skipper's wife. We all know. We all know. Shim, yeah, I'm sorry because Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This the team that was supposed to be Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
Cameron Wade. We got the rookie Jordan, the rookie Howard out of Alabama last year. I mean, what's that 6'5" receiver's name with the tattoos all over his arms?
Michael,
even Evans.
Evans, that's the one.
Name.
It was hard to remember.
Then hold on. What's this? What's the? Oh, was from that movie where Rat Race, where they had to get the big W, the treasure was under the. Well, that's what it was. I think that's what it meant.
It's a race.
Yeah, it's a race. It's a race. I know it couldn't not be that it was W. See, that's something that, you know, even JPP could do this all day. No disrespect. But here's the thing, Shim. When it boils down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have to be the #1 team in the NFL that you really had your expectation was this high, and it's this low. Wow. The Atlanta Falcons now, Shim, they are trying to stay in the hunt, and win. Their last 3 games are on the 2 of them on the road. They'll play Tampa Bay. After that, they'll play the New Orleans Saints, and then they got the Carolina Panthers. Shim, I'm gonna make this pick a hater pick. This is my first hater pick of the year, only because I need Atlanta Falcons to lose this game, so my Cowboys can win. Shim, I really can. So I'm being honest. I'm not doing no sneaky stuff. I'm being honest. There was questions about the Atlanta Falcons last week against the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees gave the win to them. Matty Ice still doesn't look too good on that offense. Tevin Coleman is still concussion protocol. Freeman, he's back, but still in all, if you could win this game, I'm telling you right now, I'll pay your way to Red Lobster. All the crab meat you can have in butter sauce. I have the Buccaneers winning this game 21-17. This is my haters pick. I'm sorry, I had to do it. 21-17.
That pretty much wraps it up for us, man. Week 15 in the books. That's pretty much our guarantee, no doubt about them. 100% guarantee pick them for the weeks. And sadly, we're only gonna have a couple more weeks after this, and then playoffs are gonna fly. Takes so long to get here, and then just flies by, man.
Shouldn't you ever get that feeling when you're watching a football game week 1, you're like, okay, week 2 is here. That means we got about 15 more weeks left.
Always, yep.
14 weeks left. It's like,
and you're like week 3, week 4, you're like, oh, we still got a good chunk. Yeah, still got like 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah, and it's before you know it's the playoffs, and then it's the draft, and it's the worst part is the summertime, that long route. Like, my God, can the season start already? Can we?
Everyone is so vulnerable. They're always looking at Twitter, and they're always, oh, my team is poised. My dude just ran 35 yards through the cones. He's gonna be a beast. It's such a long way. But folks, thank you for tuning in. As always, thank you for taking the time out of your day to at least just give us an ear or an eye. We always appreciate it whenever you can give us the time. So Tim and I signing out. If you haven't already, check us out on Tuesday nights, Football Fury, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And then, of course, as you're viewing now, Thursdays, we do our pick'ems when the NFL schedule is still going on. We're gonna have to be on Tuesday nights only for after this for a while, but we'll bring the pick'ems back once the season comes back. I promise.
Yes.
Thanks again, folks. We're signing out before we get to it's happening again, Tim.